I'm dancing with myself. I'm dancing with myself. Hi! Today I'm going to do symmetry. You're probably wondering why I have a split screen. And the reason I have that is just to show you the difference between a mirror image and a non-mirror image. Have you ever seen a video of yourself, like something that, like not a webcam video, but like a video that somebody else took and you're like, oh my god, I look like shit. Do I really look like that? I look terrible. My face looks all crooked. Have you ever because I've seen people say this, they look at themselves on a video and they say, my face looks all weird and distorted and crooked. Have you had that problem? Well, I'm here to explain why you think that about your own face when you see it on a videotape. Now take this webcam video for instance, okay? I have two images here. I have the flipped image and the non-flipped image. I'm used to seeing myself in a mirror image. And when I take a video of myself, I do it in the mirror image because when I watch myself in a mirror image, it's the way that I like to see myself because it's the way I'm used to seeing myself. If you know me in real life, then you probably see the non-mirrored image of me more often. Unless you only know me online, then you would probably, if you watch these videos, you would be more used to the mirrored image of me, which is the way that I see myself. Obviously the music videos that I have on here and the short films and stuff like that, where I'm in them, those are not going to be mirrored image. Those are just going to be regular. I'm pretty used to seeing myself both ways. So now that I'm more used to seeing myself both ways, I don't freak out as much when I see myself on video. Okay? But, yeah. So I was just going to tell you about faces and how nobody's face is like perfectly symmetrical. The thing I notice about my face the most, and I'll be still for a second. You see what I'm seeing here? Like this part of my lip goes up a little bit higher than this side. And when I'm looking at myself in like a mirrored image, I like it better. And when I see it the other way that I'm not used to, I think I look funky. Like, I like how I look on the left, on the right. I think that's not the right way. That's the funky looking way. As far as I know, there's not been any like studies on this. I mean, I could be wrong. There may have been, but yeah. I mean, there's been studies on facial symmetry, but I don't know about the way people perceive facial symmetry. Have you ever noticed that when you first meet someone, they're not as good looking as when you get to know them? Well, my theory on this is because the longer, like once you get used to seeing someone and talking to them, their face starts to look better because your brain starts adjusting. Everybody's face, like I said, is like a little bit asymmetrical. Like they say, like the most beautiful people are also the most symmetrical people with faces that are really symmetrical. That's what they say. So when you see somebody that's asymmetrical, you're like, oh, something's off here. Like they don't look as good as like, Angelina Jolie or whatever. But then once you talk to them, they start looking better and you start not noticing what's asymmetrical about their face. So I think the reason they do that is because your brain kind of adjusts and fixes the asymmetry to make it look more symmetrical. Which is why, like, say you look at yourself in a mirror and you probably don't see your own asymmetry in your own face, even though it's probably there. And that's why when you see yourself on video, you do see the asymmetry. And that's why people don't like seeing themselves on video. Because here's the other thing. When you see the flipped image of what you're used to, so you're used to the mirrored image, when you see that in reverse, your brain is looking at your own face on video and you're trying to correct it. Your brain is trying to do what it usually does, which means like my brain would try to make this part of my lip look higher up and this part look lower. You know, that's what my brain would try to fix. Or like, see this eyebrow, like it's lower than that one. Like it would try to fix those things. Okay? You know, I don't know what my nose is doing, but it's probably not perfect either. So it's fixing like everything here. So when I see an image I'm not used to, my brain is trying to fix it to the opposite way. It's trying to fix it how it's used to fixing it. And then what you get is a distorted image of what you really look like, right? So when you see yourself on video, you look more asymmetrical to yourself because your brain is trying to adjust it to the way that it thinks it's supposed to do, okay? And this can also happen when you see other people. Like my ex-husband, he's a filmmaker and he acted in one of his own movies. And he had a scene where he was in a cave. And I guess the camera guy had shot it from the wrong side because he needed to flip the image to make it look like he was like looking at a certain guy. So he had to flip the image in editing. And so when he did that, he put it in the movie. And when I watched the movie, I was like, it looks weird. It looks weird. Because it was a mirrored image that I wasn't used to seeing of him. And it looked like his mouth was, when he talked, it looked like his mouth was like moving like the wrong way. It was freaky. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with it? Why is your mouth moving like that? What's wrong with this shot? And he's like, oh, it's a flipped image because I had to flip it. And I was like, oh, okay. So what was happening is his mouth probably actually does move more on one side than the other. But I had known him for so long that I didn't notice it anymore because my brain just adjusted it. So when I saw the flipped image of it, it was trying to adjust it to the normal way that I'm used to, but it was distorting it and making it look weirder. Yeah, so like I said, everything on one side of your body is different than the other side. And, you know, some people it might not be as noticeable. Some people might notice it. Sometimes you might not notice it. Like looking at my hands, I can't really see the difference, but rings are tighter on this hand. So these fingers are a little bit bigger than these fingers. Okay. Boobs. Which one is bigger? This one is bigger. They say most people have a lefty that's bigger, but not me. You know, speaking of boobs, do y'all like Jennifer Lawrence? She's an actress. You know, everybody knows Katniss, you know, she's like really super famous. Well, she was on like one of those late shows, and she was saying that she went to get like an x-ray or something, or some sort of imaging done. She had like a lung problem, and she had to get some sort of imaging done. And so when she got the pictures back, she noticed that one of her boobs was bigger than the other. Now, why would it take an imaging thing to see this? Well, because, you know, I'm sure she's looked at herself in the mirror naked like multiple times for like all her life, and she never noticed that one of her boobs was bigger than the other. But when she saw the printout of whatever they had, some sort of x-ray of whatever, then she could be like, oh my god, like one of my boobs is bigger than the other. But it's because she was seeing an image that she wasn't used to, and it was like distorting her brain, trying to make one boob look bigger that wasn't supposed to. So then what it did was it made the big boob look bigger and the little boob look littler, okay? I mean, come on. Like, she's not gonna be like any different than anybody else. Like, she might have seen that and thought, oh my god, like one of my boobs is bigger. Well, yeah, pretty much everyone is like that, and you're not gonna notice it until you see like a mirrored image or something, you know? Oh, there was a picture. It was online on BuzzFeed or something, and it said Tom Cruise has an asymmetrical face.
And okay, Tom Cruise is like a good looking guy, no matter what. Like if you think he's crazy for Scientology or whatever, you've got to admit that he has a nice face, okay? But even his face isn't perfectly symmetrical because they like drew like a line down the center. And then when they got to his teeth, like his teeth weren't like, see how this is the center of my mouth? Well, his center was like off to the side a little bit, so where his teeth weren't perfectly in the middle. But you could only tell when they drew a line down his face. You couldn't tell. Like, I was like, yeah, I've never noticed that before. So I went to Google Images and search images of Tom Cruise, just regular images of him. And without the line there, you really could not tell that his teeth were a little bit shifted, like at all. Alright, so next time you see yourself on video or in a mirror that flips, like, or in a mirror that flips you like how you don't want to, don't worry. That's not really how you look. That's a distorted image, and you probably look something between the image you see in the mirror and the flipped image. You know, you might not look as perfect as the mirror image, but you don't look as distorted as the flipped mirror image, okay? So just, yeah, I thought I'd make a whole video talking about that, so I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye!